Choose only one personality trait to most accurately gauge someone's lifetime intermediateness. I see what he's doing there.
That is good. One personality trait to gauge their lifetime intermediate. So is this a personality trait that's going to determine if someone's going to stay intermediate, or is this, or am I thinking about this? Should I be thinking about this?
That's kind of that's how I would interpret.
So what is a personality trait that's going to keep someone intermediate for a long time?
Yeah, that you could see this trait and then be able to gauge, yes, you are very much an intermediate.
Okay, are we thinking of intermediate as more of a derogatory sense here, or is it more of like now we're all kind of intermediate because advanced?
Yeah, I think it's like
advanced is like 5, 6, 7, 8
lacking the
plates.
ability to make it to advanced.
So I don't mean this as a knock, but I'd probably say having a life with obligations is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
Having the personality trait would maybe be having relationships outside of the gym.
Yeah.
Not that it's impossible, but it makes it significant. I mean, the people we know that are the best in the world, they're not even the best, advanced. And in this case, when we say advanced, we mean people that are benching, squatting, and deadlifting the 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds. For the most part, those people, their life revolves around the gym.
This isn't a personality trait, but this is just a thing that I think becomes more apparent to me also too, is just like I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, but I think people even underestimate how important genetics are of like your predisposition to how good you can be at. I mean, you can get better.
Actual advanced. We're talking actual advanced here, not. I know a guy that can squat and deadlift over 500. That's not advanced.
Right.
That's not advanced. Is we're talking 600 plus pounds on multiple lifts.
Yeah, someone's ability to get there. For most people, it is not the amount of work they put in. Isn't even the limiting factor. It's just what your genetics predispose you to.
Yeah,
it's like that's big. Like,
what's the limiting factor for most people being a D1 football player?
It's your genetics.
Yeah,
it's like you can
play at other levels if you just play hard and you're disciplined. But to be at a D1, an elite D1 level, you got to have the total package there.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't even have to have the total package. You can be a genetic freak and kind of screw around on the other spots and still make it up.
Right. So that's why I think it's just so much genetics. Actually, I think people is a way bigger factor than steroids or any of that other. It's just like your genetics first, which is kind of frustrating because obviously none of us have any control over any of that. But
it is. But we're also talking advanced here. This is not. You can't use the genetic excuse for.
No, like if you're I can only squat 300 pounds. Why I can't get to 400 pounds because I don't have the genetics? No, I think anyone could work to get there. Honestly.
Yeah, you start to think about why can't my squat be 700 pounds? You might be hitting a genetic limit.
It might literally never be able, like no matter what you did or do, it might not be able to get there. Like that's the case for me. I could say, I don't even think if you gave me whoever you think is the best lifting coach and nutritionist and outside of like some advanced drugs, like I'm not going to squat 700 pounds.
Well, and just in your case, it just might be your genetics. The pain of your hips is a genetic condition, and where it's just not letting you get there.
Exactly. Well, that especially with lifters as they are not 20, as they get older and older, like the biggest thing that sets almost all of our training back is injury and pain management. And if like that's a genetic component of like, I'm predisposed, my hips are going to have problems. Like that's just like that's a genetic predisposition that I have. So there again, I think it's genetics still most important. And it's not everything, but when we're talking about like these elite level, of getting out of who's going to be past intermediate, I'm not even answering the question anymore, but
because the question was it personality
trait. So I just didn't have a good answer for that because I can't.
But yeah, I mean, you did have something noteworthy to say in that. But